Underrated, disrespected, a sleeper. These are some of the things I think of when I get asked about this prospect. Look, I've admittedly gotten stuck on players way too early in the process, but this is a guy I think fans need to realize is going to start wreaking havoc at the next level. And on April 27th, he may hear his name called at that 10th spot. And since he may don that midnight green for Philly, in this video, I want to make my case for who I believe to be a top 10 player in this draft. All I ask is you hear me out and give me your thoughts on my rankings. But without further ado, let's talk about it.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So today I want to talk about a prospect I feel has been disrespected on social media and by some analysts, a player I have high expectations for at the next level and would love to see putting on an Eagles draft hat come draft night. Now, before we get into that, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. We are on the road to 5K and we would love for you guys to join that ride. So the Philadelphia Eagles have an age issue. All teams face it, but the Eagles sit with glaring holes on one side of the ball, and unfortunately, it's the defense. With all the turnover positionally as well as staff-wise, it's easy for Eagles fans to become worried about how the Eagles, a year removed from a franchise record in sacks, will be able to replicate the same level of pressure. The top 3 free agents on the Eagles list accounted for 35 of 70 sacks last year, with vets like Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham accounting for 29 sacks on their own. Also, 4 forced fumbles, 2 recoveries, and that's just between the 3. Now, luckily, BG is back, but that's a scary thought for a team built on their trench play. In walks Calijah Cancey. The 6'1", 281-pound Pitt product is clearly undersized, and at the combine, his wingspan wasn't ideal. He isn't a player without flaws, one of which is attached to his lack of size. At times, he can be outpowered by stronger offensive linemen, especially when he doesn't get the right leverage or isn't the first off the ball. Even still, he's a very good pass rusher, which we'll get into that, but that is also one of his detriments, as a lot of times he takes himself out of the running plays due to his obsession with trying to get into the backfield. I want to see his hands get utilized a bit more, and I want to see him a bit stronger when he does have to fight at the line. But since high school, Kancey was a playmaker and a disruptive force, logging 200+ tackles over his last 2 high school seasons and ranked as one of the top 45 tackles in the nation by rivals. He's only gotten better in college, increasing on his tackle for losses and sacks every year, finishing his last 2 years as a full-time starter in Pitt with 14.5 sacks and 27.5 tackles for loss, all while posting a 91.8 grade in his senior season per PFF. Now, not only that, but he ended 2022 with a 92.4 pass rush grade and a 22% rush win rate. I mean, that's pretty impressive. These are all numbers that improved year by year. This young man can pass rush as good as any player in this draft, never mind his position. I'm talking edge rushers, I'm talking linebackers. This guy can stand toe-to-toe with all of them when it comes to being a pass rusher. Now, for context, in his 275 pass rushing snaps, he created pressure on 47 of such plays. Cancey draws a lot of Aaron Donald comparisons, and in many ways, that's completely fair. They have similar size, they obviously went to the same college, and they both put up similar production in school. Where he differs is the play strength. Donald is an absolute menace in the run game, and while Kancey isn't a liability, his style of play has held him from being a full-on asset in it. He's not terrible in the run game. I want to make that clear. He's actually pretty decent. It's just I can't see him continuing that at his size in the NFL level. I could be totally wrong. To me, he's a weapon. You can put him out there with Jordan. You can put him on the edge. You can honestly let him stand and rush. He's very, very versatile in that regard. So what I want to do is kind of show you a little bit of what I'm saying, right? So we talk about the get off. We talk about how he's able to win within his own parameters with that speed, and he able to just fight off. Like before these guys are even getting up, he's already hand checking. He's already fighting at the offensive lineman's chest, trying to get his hands away from him. I said that he needs to win like this. It's going to be the speed that allows him to win. Here you see it in a perfect example, how he's able to get off his assignment so quickly, wins that one-on-one, and is able to get to the backfield, obviously impact the play. The quarterback is able to get off the ball, but he does impact the play. Here again, you see it. He's this time able to just bull rush that running back, which you see the power, you see the speed, and you see the placement of hands and his low center of gravity helping him get to the quarterback on that one. Just a beautiful play. Here we talk about the running play, right? We talk about his impact in the run game. He's still able to hold his own. He's not a guy that's going to win by, just bowling over offensive linemen, but he's able to hold his own. Here, another one, you see it, him able to just make an impact on that play. He gets held, which he yells about. And here, another one. This is probably my favorite one. And why is this my favorite one? You see just the awareness, the situational awareness. He starts on that interior. He could have went after the quarterback, he could have went after the running back after he sees the handoff. He sees the reverse and is still able to make a huge play on that quarterback in the backfield. That's speed, that's tenacity, that's knowing where you are on the field, watching the play develop, allowing the play to develop. These are things that we see in Calijah Kancey a lot, and I am excited to have him on the Eagles because I think he'll bring that to the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's get back to the talk. Now, when you look at how Philly is built on the defensive line, it's fair to think Kancey could be the perfect yang to Jordan Davis's yin. With Kancey, you get a fast, twitchy, and versatile defensive tackle who will constantly win one-on-one matchups, and he allows Jordan to be a space eater like he was in college. He just makes a lot of sense for this Eagles team. Now, 3 ways that I think the Eagles can get him and that are possible is one going to be probably the least favorite of all of them. But if you don't have him that high, I get it. You would probably be upset with this, but I personally wouldn't be devastated if at 10, he was our guy. Honestly, quite the opposite. I would be okay with him being the guy at number 10. That's obviously probably the easiest way for it to happen. Now, the second way is the 13th or 15th is a trade option, in my opinion. We have been hearing that Aaron Rodgers is going to be leaving the Packers, going to the Jets. The Jets standing at, I believe, number 13 with their pick. They could be trading that to the Packers. That could be a team that we could be looking at and saying at 13, all right, you want to move up to number 10 for possibly a quarterback, and then we get the number 13 pick, and then we go ahead and take Kancey. That, to me, probably would kind of fill a bunch of different holes, kill a bunch of different birds with a couple stones, right? It makes a lot of sense. Now, the last one is something I just don't see happening, if I'm being 100% honest. Just watching his tape, seeing how he performed at the Combine, is waiting to see if Calijah is there at 30. If he is, it's a no-brainer, and it's like striking gold. I just don't see that happening. Now, I understand the size may scare some people off, but his production and raw traits are enough for me to take him at 10 and watch him grow in this league, both literally and figuratively. I'll say this. If the Eagles select Calijah Kancey at number 10, they won't have to worry about that spot for probably the next decade. Let me know what you guys are thinking, though. I know a lot of people are, a lot of different places on Calijah Kancey, but I wanted to give you my opinion on it because a lot of times I see it, whether it be on Twitter or in the comment section, that they feel like 10 is too high. In my opinion, he's not. Let me know what you're thinking. Other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace!
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Yeah. Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man Saul Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season head, really time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning